Oh. Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So I am your homie HerbMan. I'm your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm coming live from South Africa, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Please go get somewhere for you to be able to learn this knowledge. We teach people how to heal themselves, and you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach you about the human frame and the human design so that you can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness, all right? So once I get this little special thing off my thing up here, we're going to get it cracking, all right? So this is a free information station, you guys. You don't have to pay for anything that you hear here. All you simply got to do is pay attention, and how you do that on the HerbMan show is by double tapping that screen, and let's get us up to 100,000 likes doing the live broadcast, all right? And once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get into the subject at hand, all right? But you know us, we just continue to keep teaching you, okay? We continue to keep teaching you the things that you need to learn to be able to first believe that self-healing is possible. And the way we're going to get you to conceive that self-healing is possible, we're going to divulge to you historically all of what the ancient people keep telling you about is that this is possible. That's why they left a code behind. They left a hint. Okay, and if you guys are smart enough, if we can evolve enough, we will get the hint. And the hint is if you only knew more about your abilities. And that's coming from people who understood the factor of limitation. Okay, it is because they didn't have no books to read before they went and done something. They just got to go do it. And then you got things and you got all of these different rules and regulations written in blood from our ancestors that didn't have no blueprint, didn't have no procedures and policies, didn't have no step-by-step outline on how to live. Okay, and so they were saying to themselves that if only you know thyself, then you'll know that there's more to you than what meets the eye. Okay, there is more to us than what meets the eye. And so today, once we get into our subject matter, we're going to keep divulging to you how you create this particular self-healing particular activation. And the thing about it is you're walking around with it all day long. All day long, you're walking around in and out of this particular thing that's happening to you, but you don't know how to sustain it sometimes in your time of need. And so we understand that the cells represents the self, and we understand that the microcosm and the macrocosm all simply have some type of mirroring effect. And what you must understand is that the cells in your body, I want everybody to put this down, okay? Because look like we're at 1,000 likes. The cells in your body, all right? Again, this is going to be on YouTube, you guys. So if you miss it, go to YouTube. All right. If you miss it, go to YouTube. This is why the owner's manual is the best natural-based assessment that you could ever take. You don't need machines. You don't need no blood test, no blood type. You don't need no urine sample, no pee sample, no hair sample. You don't need no stool sample. You don't need no live culture off that little nasty bump down there. All you need is your birthday, and that will give you the tendencies, and that will put you back into at least get you the information that you need to put you back in balance. All you need is the information on you. Know thyself. Who am I? Cells mirror the environment. Okay? Cells mirror the environment in order to influence behavior. Cells mirror the environment in order to influence behavior. So the environment is influencing the cell. It'll tell the cell what to do. The environment is the thing that lets the cell know if it needs to rebirth, if it needs to apoptosis, if it needs to change its functionality. It is because of the environment. If the environment gets concentrated, that's instructions for the cell to do something. If the environment is balanced, homeostatic, that's producing homeostasis in the cell. So you'll realize that the cell mirrors the environment. So what is the other environment that is mirroring? Your outside environment. So that means that if you're having a toxic life outside, you'll have a toxic life inside. If you're having a fearful life outside, you'll have the same thing going on in the inside. If you're having this and that issue going on, then you're going to have these things going on in the inside. There's something mirroring you because that is you. Remember that I am 50 trillion cells and you're looking at one person. There's 50 trillion to 100 trillion things that are just working together to create this oneness that you see. Okay, and the bottom line is you're doing the same thing as me. So now we're understanding that the cells mirror the environment inside and outside. And the cells are a representation of self. So now when I get to you, try to get you to understand that if we just change the environment, stop trying to believe these people that saying it's in your blood. Because yeah, it could be. But the bottom line is the blood and the fluids create the environment. If you make it make sense to me, then I'll see that I got more control than what you give me. If you tell me that I need to take a blood test and I need to get up under the microscope and then you're gonna look in my blood and all that, it seems like it's just out of my control. I got to go to the doctor. That's what it seemed like, don't it? I got to go to the doctor to get my blood taken for them folk to see in my blood something that I don't know or can't see. And that's a doggone lie, because that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It don't have to get to that level to where you got to be dependent on the doctor to check your blood. Understand, I'm telling you, it's the environment. So you would know off the rip that you don't got to take my blood, doc, because I know that it's my environment. And I know that my environment is either doing two things. It's either promoting health and regeneration, or it's promoting stress and degeneration. It's the only two things that's going on in my life. I'm either promoting health and regeneration inwardly and outwardly in my life, or I'm either promoting stress and stagnation. And all you got to do is look at yourself, and then you'll understand, why am I getting sick? It's because you're stagnated outside, you're stagnated inside. If you're having an environment that is not conducive to your growth, if you're in a neighborhood, if you're in a family, if you're around friends, if you're in a situation to where it's not conducive to your growth, then that outer situation is a macrocosm of the microcosm that now you're also not promoting growth on the inside. Because you got to look at it. Why would it go hand in hand? As I develop, my cells develop. As I develop myself, my cells develop as well, because my cells is me. So everywhere I go, my cells go. It's just like my buddy. Everywhere I go is my buddy. my buddy and me. Your cells are going to go everywhere you go. So that means that when you're in a smoking environment, your cells in it. When you're in a drunken environment, your cells in it. When you're in a happy environment, your cells is in it. When you're in an angry environment, your cells is there too, buddy. So at the end of the day, you're getting to see that somebody is there with you, partaking in the experiences, and therefore it is very logical, very reasonable now to understand that yes, what's going on in my lifestyle will affect the style of life in my cells. So then now we know environment is the thing to do. Stop having them folks go to your cell, go to the environment of the. I'm trying to tell y'all what I know. Stop having people go to your cells and go to the environment. The environment. Okay, so we taught you guys this right here. Let me show y'all. Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. Keep tapping, and I'll keep talking, you guys. Let me show you something really quick. I'm gonna show you something real quick, you guys. Really, really simple thing right here. All right. Cells mirror the environment that they're in. Okay. Real simple, real quick. When you get distraught, right? Let's say you have a sickness. Okay. Or let's say you got loneliness. Okay. Or let's say you're dealing with financial issues. Relationship issues. Okay. Remember that the cells in your body is experiencing the life with you because they are you. There ain't no way around it. So the secret in the sauce is not going to the cell or to the spot of the pain, but the secret of the sauce is getting into the environment. Now, when you get into the environment, there are going to be ratios. Okay. When you get into the environment, there are going to be ratios. There are going to be some things that are going to be positive, and there are going to be some negatives, and then you're going to have some positive and some negative things, right? So you got basically your protons, your electrons, and your neutrons carry the positive and negative charge. The neutral, right? So you got a lot of this stuff going on. You got positive ions, you got negative ions, okay? You got sodium, that's something. You got potassium, that's something. So all of this is ratios. Again, polarity is the recipe. So now when I get into your environment, you got to first understand what's in the environment. What is one of the number one minerals or molecules, or one of the number one things that you must understand runs outside of the cell, meaning the extracellular fluid. Now on the inside of the cell is the intracellular fluid. Now we know that in here there's a lot of things going on. The cells need all the stuff, but what's more dominant in here as far as the sodium and potassium pump, which lies on the cell membrane, is going to be what? Potassium. Potassium is more dominant on the inside of the cell. Sodium is more dominant on the outside of the cell. So your sodium trail means a lot, and your iron trail. If you can start looking at iron and start looking at sodium and all these other things that go along with that, like chloride and all that, then you'll start to understand where you are in the environment. And so if your sodium ain't right outside the cell, then guess what? If the temperature gets too high in the body, that starts to promote mutation of the DNA. That starts to promote a deterioration of the cell membrane because it's too hot in here. Okay, and if the body get too cold, if you don't understand how to control your temperature, then that's going to create mucus and stagnation. Okay, so you must understand that. So one thing is I got to keep the temperature. Okay, another thing about environment is acid to alkalinity. Now we both know that a lot of us are walking around here being too acidic. Okay, that tips the scale. Well, acids corrode. So now I got temperatures being too high causing mutation, temperature being too low causing stagnation. Now I got acidity being one of them things that cause corrosion. And then too much alkalinity, just like your pool water, is going to create growth in the body, causing funguses to grow and bacteria to grow, just like it grow in your pool water. So then now I got temperature. Then he told me about my water balance, right? So I got the temperature balance, then I got the water balance, and then last but not least, you got to have the oxygen oxygen balance. That means you got to learn how to breathe. And so when people keep trying to tell you about meditation and breathing, you keep just overlooking that like that ain't gonna do you no good. Look, I did 30 deep breaths last night. Didn't nobody even know it. Next thing you know, right at them 30 deep breaths, I started yawning. I said, yep, I'm about to go and go to sleep. 30 deep breaths at night in the nose, out of the mouth will allow you to go and get some rest. 30 deep breaths the first thing in the morning. You don't need no Folgers in the morning because that will get you alert. Breathing is everything because that's what you must understand. Now, here is the thing. The body is a temporary vessel until you learn how to control your air. Until you learn how to control your breathing, then life is going to be temporary. And the reason why is because slowing down the breathing is an initiatory understanding and when you understand this. And I said initiatory because I really do believe that it is an initiation of understanding. But controlling breath is controlling spirit. Controlling breath is controlling life. Controlling breath is controlling soul essence. Controlling breath is controlling consciousness. And what you must understand is it is an early indicator. When you can slow down your breathing and calm down your life in the midst of chaos. When you can be able to understand this duality of life, that when I get hit with frustration, I must be calm. I must do the opposite. Polarity is the recipe. That when she come in here all bad energy, I must provide positive energy. Polarity is the recipe. That when he come in here all watery and emotional, I must be a little bit more fiery because opposite is the recipe. And when I'm sick, I must think I'm healed because why? Polarity is the recipe. When I'm broke, I must think rich. Why? Because polarity is the recipe. And when I am lonely, I must think about the relationship and the family environment that I would like to have because why? Polarity is the recipe. The man is trying to give us something that allows us to know that you don't need medication, but you do need to learn how to meditate, and you do need to learn how to silence the life around you when you are going through storms. See, you broke right now, but your life is still cluttered. You can't find the answer through all the clutter. You're searching and you're searching on social media. You're talking to people, but you still ain't been there because you got your brain you got so much business going on in the mind, even though you're still impoverished. You so busy, you can't find a solution. Stop, slow down, surrender, let go, calm down. We know you got to eat, but calm down so that we can make the best decision. And that best decision during the calmness is that inner voice that tells you, just go on and keep walking up the street. And you keep walking up the street just like me. Bomb. Living with no electricity, no lights, barbecuing all the food because you ain't got no electricity. You ain't got no, look, we barbecued everything outside of the front. I don't care what you bought or who bought it over there. We had to barbecue it. Cold showers. Roach infested places. I've been there, done that. So you ain't talking to somebody that don't know. 3 days bread and water in the breed. Locked up 15 times, been down the road to penitentiary. I've been there. I know what it looks like to be searching and lurking and be out there creeping on. I know. Standing on the block out. I know. I know what you're going through. And I'm trying to get you to understand that all you got to do is have a different mindset. In that same time that I was a bum and didn't know where to go, calling my mama, crying, mama like, baby, I don't know what you're going to do. You're grown. You got to get out here and use what you got between your two shoulders. Stop just settling for street knowledge, and you got knowledge to where you could use that same hustle in the corporate America. You think that, oh, you just smart enough for the streets? You smart is smart. I said, boy, okay, but I'm thinking broke. I'm thinking bomb. I'm thinking fucked up. So therefore, because I'm fucked up, I am a bomb. I'm thinking how I am. You feel me? But then in the quietness of a night on the phone with your mama that encourages that you are brilliant, that you have the consciousness to rise above your thing. I said, all right, tomorrow, then I'm just going to walk and going up the street another time. I already done been up the road 15 times looking for a job. But because I talked to my mama, I'll wake up in a new spirit, in a new conscious, new positive mind that something got to shake because I'm that smart to get something. And then next thing you know, your spirit tell you, go on up the street, keep walking. You keep walking, you done heard 15 no's, and then you get to this one little spot where the boss man is sitting on the counter talking to the employee, and then he look at you, tell you, hey man, what you want? Hey, I need a job, bro. Look, fill out the application. You fill out the application. He said, man, you ain't got no experience. I said, yeah, man, but I'm a fast learner, man. Oh, I see you been in the Navy, huh? Yeah, I was in the Navy, and but I'm a fast learner, brother. I can learn anything. He said, I tell you what, come on back tomorrow. And ever since then, your boy been balling. Out of control, change your life. But I already walked up this road. What makes after I talked to my mama different? Polarity. She don't even know what she did. But it was polarity. It was, let me give you a different thought, even in your most horrible time. You ain't got no money, you fucked up, you broke, but then let me give you a thought, a polarity. She don't even know she did it, but she did it. Right? And then that thought resonated. Damn, I am brilliant, bro. I am one of the smartest cats I chum. Yeah, I done been to the penitentiary, but I ain't tell you that I've been to the Navy too, right? I ain't tell you that I done been to 5 continents. I ain't tell you I done traveled since I was 15, 16 years old. The world. I ain't tell you all these good stuff either. But so I got both. Then I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm going to wake up tomorrow, even in the same broke ass situation. My shit didn't change after I go about the phone. I'm still broke. I'm still fucked up, but not my mind. My mind ain't messed up no more. And as soon as I changed my mind, even though my body is in the same situation, when I changed my mind, I changed my life. And that's all we're trying to get you guys to understand here today. When you get your owner's manual and you understand what you're reading about yourself, then you start looking at how that contrasts the world that you live in. And then you start to make sure that you're creating an environment that is promoting the dreams that you're wanting. And a lot of the times what we don't understand is that we're creating an environment to get what we're getting. So then just create the environment to get what you want. Okay? So that's the importance of environment. And it comes in these positives and negatives. It comes in these neutrals. So when we're looking at here, you would say down here would be what? Down here, well, I'm gonna do it like this. Down here, actually, up here would be considered the negative, and down here would be considered the positive, right? Because this is the masculine and this is the feminine. Negative and positive don't mean good or bad. It's giving me the polarity. Okay, and then in the center here, this would be the positive and the negative, the neutrality. Okay, so we know on the pH scale that's how it is, but also in life that's what this is, right? Some of us are in a positive time in life, meaning a more intellectual, a more fact-based, a more logical based, a more analytical based time in our life that is going to require a little bit more physical endurance. Okay, and then some of us are going to be in the negative time in life. This don't mean bad, but this means spiritual, this means creative, this means imaginative time, this means healing and spirituality time in life. But at the same time, you must understand what you got to do. This means you must conserve your physical energy. So one is saying it's going to be a demand on the body, while the other said it's going to be a demand on the mind. Some of you guys are at a time in life where you're in the spiritual time, but you're trying to run the body still. And you're going to run the body down because you don't know this information. You can only get it in your owner's manual. Some of you guys are in the physical time of life, but you over here sitting down, trying to do all this other stuff, and you're letting your physical time slip away. Okay? And when you let it slip away, or when you try to run it the whole race, you're going to end up dead. Okay? The end of all of this misinformation is death. And so what we're trying to do is have these timeless moments in life, meaning that you create an environment that is going to promote your dreams and your real truth. And your real truth has to be discovered some kind of way. And we can discover that with the owner's manual. Okay. So if anybody's interested in the owner's manual, just let us know. So now you got sickness creating a particular frequency, right? We'll say that this is creating a positive environment, which is acidic. Okay, then you got loneliness doing the same thing. Some of us are dealing with all this shit. Sickness, loneliness, issue. So then you got positive. See, so I'm sick, creating an acidic environment. Loneliness and relationship issues is creating an acidic environment. Financial issues is creating an acidic environment. Is this polarity? Do we have polarity right here? Anybody? Keep tapping the screen, you guys. I'll keep talking, keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Do you see polarity right here? If sickness is creating a positive frequency, which is acidic, if loneliness and relationship issues is creating a positive energy frequency, which is acidic, if financial issues is creating a positive energy, which is acidic, acids are necessary. So don't get it twisted, but you can't have an overage of it. But is this duality? No, because this is creating the same energy. So now if you put a battery in your car, and you put it 2 positives on the battery, will your car crank up? If you put a battery in your toy and the toy battery got 2 positives on each end, will that toy come to life? Right. Duh. So you're going, that's very simple, you guys, all right? So you're going through life creating not polarity. You're not creating polarity. You're not creating opposition because you don't want opposition. You've been heard that the ops are wrong. You was heard that the haters are bad. You was heard that being in the same energy is what it is. I want my twin flame. I'm going to match your energy. No, don't match me. Opposite me. Oppose me at a particular thing that will give me the things that I come in with that may not be sufficient for the situation. That's what a man and a woman is supposed to do. The woman is coming in, handing the man things that the man cannot do without the woman. And the man is coming into the woman's life, doing things for the woman that the woman absolutely cannot be able to do. And so that's why we have these particular bodies. There's certain things that I cannot do, like have a baby. Okay, there's just certain things that it just made me not be able to do. So therefore, if I want to reproduce myself, I am required to be able to socialize with this other cell that's in this particular community of humanity as well, in order for reproduction to happen. And it's the same with the woman. She might got the body to reproduce, but she ain't got the things down here that got them things in it to reproduce. So now it is necessary for her to be able to socialize with the other organism on the particular species of planet to be able to reproduce herself. You see this? So then opposition, polarity is the recipe. So we say, okay, then what happens in the environment? Thank you for asking. Let's go ahead and go there. Thank y'all for asking. Let's go ahead and go there. Let's keep it moving, you guys. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Let's go ahead and get there. Let's see what this is right here. Okay, there you go. So these are some of the 5 or 6 things that affect the environment, okay? That affect the environment. All right, now you looking down there, you see physical, right? We already talked about the physical. The physical is going to be about the temperature, the water, and the oxygen, okay? 5 things that affect the environment of your cells, okay? Temperature, pH, oxygen, okay? This is going to be the physical environment. So now, when you're looking at your cancers or your diabetes or your this and your that, all we got to do is fill out these 3 pieces of information. The body temperature, okay? Are you too hot? Are you too cold? We're going to be asking you questions. We ain't just going to take your body temperature, but we can ask you questions as well. How are you feeling? I'll know if you got high temperatures or not, because if you got high blood, when the pressure goes up, the volume goes up, the energy goes up, the heat goes up. Okay, so high blood pressure is high energy, high temperatures automatically. Okay, so then we start to understand that. So we can tell by some of these issues you got going on, but then we'll also be able to take your temperature. You can take your own temperature to find this out. Am I too hot or too cold? Or you can just have that question asked to you. Next is going to be, but here's the thing. We know we can put our diseases on these sides of the fence, okay? Or is it mucus and stagnation kind of issue, degeneration kind of issue? Or is it going to be mutation and DNA issues and cell membrane issues? Because that's when you're too hot. Okay, so sickle cell and all this type of blood issues and mutation in the blood and all that, the body is too hot, producing too much heat energy. Okay, all this mucus and sinuses and all this lymphatic and all this type of stuff, you too cold. You drinking too much cold ice in your water, cold drink, cold bill. Yeah, it's you. That's you, pimper. Okay, and then you'll understand, even if you understood iridology, if you understood iridology, there are only two sets of eyes, right? You got the brown eye, okay, or the hematotic, the hematotic eye, right? And now that hema means blood. So the brown eye people are considered the ones that may be more susceptible to blood issues. That's what it's supposed to be, but that ain't always true. Then you got the blue eye. So you only got a brown and a blue. Now, if it's green, if it's this, if it's that, it ain't nothing but shades of differentiation between the brown and the blue. But it ain't number two eye. So the blue eye would be what? The lymphatic eye. The mucus eye, right? The lymphatic eye. So you would say then that people who have blue eyes are more prone to cold and stagnation and mucus and lymphatic issues, and people who got brown eyes are more prone to blood and bone and stuff like that issues and blood disorders and stuff like that, right? That's what you would say, but that ain't always true, but that is the rule of thumb. So now you understand how that temperature thing and that mucus and that water thing really pays attention. Now, last but not least is the oxygen. Breathing, physical environment. How do I change my physical environment right now, HerbMan? If I don't want to buy your owner's manual, I don't want to do nothing. Why? Check your temperatures, keep your pH balanced, and make sure that you got the right posture and create the right breathing for your cells. Because your cells need oxygen. Most important thing is the oxygen for it to combust. Right? And that combustion is going to give you the work that you need out of your cells. That combustion also is going to provide the heat that you need from your cells. That combustion also is going to provide the waste that you need to dispose of from your cells. Okay, second now is going to be the chemical. All right, so now you got the physical environment. Now we got to go to the chemical environment. All right, the chemical environment is going to be what? The nutrients. Okay. You got the nutrients, you got the toxins, the pollutants, and you got the hormones and they signals, okay? So this is creating the environment outside the cell, all right? All right, so these are the chemicals. You got the nutrients. Let me get me another pen here. My kids keep stealing my pen. All right. So we got nutrients. Okay, we got toxins, pollutants, and we got what else we got up there? Nutrients, toxins, and pollutants. And then what else I have for my chemicals up here? The hormones. And I'm gonna call them the neurotransmitters. Right? Because even though they say signals, I know what signals they talking about. These neurotransmitters, right? So now, once you got the physical checked off, now I got to go to my chemicals. Am I eating the proper diet? Am I creating a situation in my environment to where I'm not taking in a lot of toxins and pollutants? That means my outside life. What job do I work at? What's the AC? Are they fixing the AC unit? There's a lot of sick building syndromes, and y'all don't know what sick building syndrome is, but you could be sitting in a sick building right now and don't even know it, and it's causing you to be sick. Have you ever went to work and felt bad all the time? Every time you go to work, you can't see good. Every time you go to work, you start sneezing. Every time you go to work, you start coughing. Every time you go to work, you start getting sick. But as soon as you leave from work and get home, you well. Why? Because it could be sick building syndrome causing a lot of your issues. We work in a lot of old ass buildings in America and all over the country. And what's happening is they're not facilitating the HVAC unit. So you got all this condensation that's happening time in and time out. All this condensation, and ain't nobody going above those little drop downs and checking those pipes. And so you got a lot of mildew and mold that's building up in them AC units. And so the maintenance team may be too overwhelmed, and the maintenance man then may be too overwhelmed. And so what's happening is that's starting to create a wetness in the air. And once you start getting that dampness in, especially from the AC unit, you start breathing in a lot of that dampness. It start getting into your throat, start getting into your chest, it start getting into the back of your neck. And then next thing you know, you got high blood pressure. You start getting neck pains, and you can't, and you can't get your blood pressure down. It's because you're creating the stagnation, the cold. It's coming from your building, the sickness. Okay? So understand, we got to be able to provide the environment from toxins and pollutants. And then last but not least, hormones, right? How are you emotionally getting along through life? Why? Because these things are being secreted or secreted into your blood. Okay? And when anybody is messing anything in the blood, they're messing with the environment. Okay? So we got to make sure that our hormones, our harmony, make sure our life is creating harmony. All you got to do is know that about polarity. Polarity will create the harmony for you. Okay? Harmony ain't about who thinks like you. It's about who thinks opposite of you that can create the community. You need opposition to create the community. If me and you both fix cars, then who gonna fix the house? You do something different. Okay? That's what creates the relevancy of each person, is that they're bringing in a different quality. I don't want to date myself. I want to date somebody totally different from me, and then learn from that person aspects of them that can help me, and vice versa. Okay? I don't want nobody like me. I don't want to date nobody like me. And I know I look good, I'm handsome and everything, but I don't want no man. I want a woman. All right. So now number 3 is biological. Okay. So now we got the physical environment, we got the chemical environment. Now let's get into the cell environment, right? So this is the biological environment that is conducive to cell life. All right. Now we're talking about outside, but I'm gonna still walk you through this one. All right. So now what we got right here. Let me blow this up. So we got biological. So we got your microbiome, which is in your gut, and we got your immune surveillance and other cells. Let's just call this gut. Okay, let's just call this gut. Your gut health is very important to your biological cell health. Okay, because remember they just said that the microbiome and your immune surveillance. Well, 80% of your immune system is in your gut microbiome. 90% of your serotonin is in your gut microbiome. So all of this stuff, serotonin is your happiness. So the more happier you is, the more you get that gut feeling. You know, you ever had them the goosebumps, you ever had that butterfly in your stomach? That's when something is happening to you that is very, very tremendous for you, right? It's either the scariest thing that ever happened for you, or it's either the most exciting thing that's ever happened for you. But you get that butterfly feeling, right? That's that happiness. And we want you to be able to get that whether you're with somebody or not. Just be able to get it off of life by itself. That's biological. All of that is in the gut. Okay. And then the fifth one right here, right? The fourth one, I'm sorry, is the energetics, right? The energetics. A lot of people don't want to talk about energetics. Okay, but this is very crucial because this is where polarity comes in there. Right? You got to know these frequencies. So the energetics also is going to be a part of the environment that affects your cells. So you got vibration. Okay. Now, vibrations we know as what? Vibing. Okay. Vibing is when you're on the same frequency. It doesn't mean that you're on the same shit. It doesn't mean that you're matching energies. It means that you're at the same level of understanding how oppositions work. Vibing together is not, see, when you got to look at music. Music is a bunch of contrasting instruments that's creating melody. Music is a bunch of contrasting sounds. None of them sound the same, but they have a unique way of being able to create chords. Chords is one accord. Your vocal cords should be on one accord. Your body, your mind, spirit, heart, and soul should be on one accord. So different frequencies can create a chord, meaning that they can create a unity, even though you opposite in the way your tone is, even though you're opposite in the way your function is, your administration is, we can still be able to create melody together. So don't think that vibing is being the same motherfucker at the same time. Vibing is when opposition at the same level meets and creates the charge, the change, the vibe. Okay, when you was feeling low going to the club and then some kind of way you start getting excited, is because the club created the polarity situation from your real life. You was going in there mad, and the DJ, whoever was there, that music, that environment created the polarity that got you out of your madness, and you're vibing. Okay, vibrations, emotions. All right, the next one is going to be electromagnetic fields, right? So EMF, also we got to watch out for this because it can affect your cell. So your cell phone, the reason why they call it cell phone, because it can fuck up your cells, right? Then you got to look at your Bluetooth. Okay, mess up your cells. You got to look at all these different aspects of electromagnetic fields, but then you also got a electromagnetic field that you got to be able to understand is a part of your environment as well. Keeping your electromagnetic field, your frequencies at a particular level, is just as good as also preventing foreign electromagnetic fields that can come in and start to cause interference of your own. So you must be preventative inwardly and outwardly. You must be preventative for the microcosm and the macro when it comes to electromagnetic fields. Everybody got it and everything got it. Okay. And then you got your elemental connection. Okay. The elemental connection we already know about. All right. The elemental connection we already know about. I talk to you guys about that all the time. Your fire, air, earth, and water. These are the 4 departments of health. Fire represents your mental health. Earth represents your physical health. Air represents your spiritual health, and then you have water representing your emotional health. Right? These are the elemental connections for you to understand that you are connected to the sun. Your mental health is connected to the sun. Remember what I just said. The fire element represents the mental health department. So your mental health is connected to the sun. That's why the owner's manual was so important, because we're trying to get you back on the path of the sun so that we can help you renew your consciousness, your mind. But you got to get outside to get the sun, not in the book, if you understand what I mean. Okay. Then we just told you that the air represents your spiritual health, right? So then what that means is your breathing. Right, your breathing is going to be very, very important to your spiritual health, meaning to your life. Remember that life is spirit, spirit is life. So the sun is important for my mentality, my consciousness. My breathing is important to my life in general. Then you have the physical health. Then you have the earth element, which is your body. Okay, your body, we all know, has to be a vessel that needs to be the vehicle to get the mind around this particular paradigm. So now it's important that how I pace myself when it comes to my physical health, which we call body preservation. This is what we teach you in the owner's manual. If you guys are interested in the owner's manual, please DM me. We'll get you the information that you need. And then last but not least, you have this water element. So now we know that water can help us emotionally. So going to the beach, going to the river, going to the lake, especially when you're in emotional turmoil, you'll see will have a significant effect on your emotions and on how you balance those emotions moving forward. Just a simple walk to the lake, walk to the beach, walk to a river, walk to a creek, a vacation to somewhere around water where water is present for your most emotional people out there, and for you that's having all these emotional crises. Take your ass to some water. Take me to the water. That's for your emotions. Okay. So now we get that elemental connection, and that's going to be the energetics. That's the stuff that is going to be the stuff that's in your herbs, that's in your foods. Okay. The energies that's there, the positives and the negatives, the polarity. That's the energy that we're talking about. Creating the charge for you to be able to change your life. Creating the charge for you to be able to change your life. All right, the last one here is going to be epigenetics. All right, a lot of you guys may not have ever heard of epigenetics, but back in the day, they said that genes were the cause of everything, right? Heredity in your genes, right? And so epigenetics, epi means above. So this is genetics, but epigenetics is right above genetics. And This whole concept of above genetics is letting you know that environment, lifestyle is going to be the thing that influence the gene. The gene doesn't influence the lifestyle. That so the hand me down ain't in the gene. The hand me down is in the lifestyle. You learn from your father and mother what to eat, what to do, how to live, and so therefore you carry that. That's before genes. Okay, that's a before genetic predisposition is the lifestyle of the parents way before they had a baby. What was the lifestyle of your daddy before he met your mama? What was the lifestyle of your mama before they met your daddy? And then you came in under their understanding, their mental construct. That's way before the gene, right? So now you see lifestyle habits. Okay, epigenetics is all about the lifestyle habits, right? Lifestyle becomes a big factor in the environment of your cells and if you're ever going to be able to self-heal. Okay. Stress versus calm. This is what I was trying to teach y'all a while ago. Okay. That when you get into these particular situations, you got to play the polarity game. And we don't know how to play the polarity game. He came in Chick-fil-A hot. You got hot at him. Next thing you know, both of y'all on TikTok as the customer and the cashier fussing out each other. Now, we both know I'm from the old school. If you want to keep your job, you ought to know you couldn't do nothing. Go tell your manager that you just want to keep your job. But she don't give a damn about her job. He didn't give a damn about her job. So she matched his energy. And they on TikTok fussing and fighting for your enjoyment. We do this all the time because we don't know how to do the polarity recipe. Same thing in relationships. He coming up, you're going to match his energy. She coming up, you're going to match the energy. And that is not helping us. All right. Now, last but not least is social emotional environment. All right. So your belonging in this particular paradigm is going to be a key factor into your cell life. Okay, because remember what you go through, they go through. There's no way around it. When you go through a dough, you just took 50 trillion cells through that same dough. Okay, so now when you're stressed out, when you're lonely, when you're not able to find your way here in this particular earth paradigm, it affects your environment outside of you. Yes, we know that, but it's also affecting your environment on the inside of you. Any questions thus far? Okay, any question thus far? You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. You keep tapping and I will keep talking. I know y'all don't like to learn this stuff, but you must learn that this is the way off of the dependency of the medical facility. Okay, just because you don't want to go to the doctor, all you doing is robbing Peter to pay Paul. I know y'all want somebody to get that little hospital money too. That's fair. Okay, find you somebody that'll rob you like the doctors will. And there's a lot of herbalists out here that don't mind you taking care of their family. Okay, but for me, what we're trying to do is educate you more better. Instead of having a product, we have a program. And for your measly, funky $50, we believe that this is the best thing that you can invest in to do it. And all it requires is a birthday. Okay, all this requires is a birthday. Any question? Did you see any questions there? What I see, self-realization of agape love in the human soul. Yes, that self-realization, that's the thing that happens a lot of times in our time of need, what we call suffering. You can start to self-realize when you stay in this suffering position. What is suffering? Suffering ain't something where I'm talking about you bleed, not it ain't got to go that far. Suffering is just when a force of resistance come in against something that you want to do or something that you need to have or something that you desire. So your wants, needs, and desires, when they come up against this force of resistance, that is the moment that you can start to see transformation if you take advantage of that moment. You see, and that's why we talked about Job yesterday, because we were trying to explain to you your job. What is your job when you're sick? To think that you're going to be healed. That's it. Don't accept the sickness. What is your job when you're broke? Think rich and then start to do actions that look like you're trying to get rich, like spending time. When you don't have money, you spend time. So if you're a poor person, I'm looking at what you're doing with your time. I want to say this, man. I got to put this out here because everybody wants some damn money. If you are poor or living under the poverty line or whatever, and you're looking at me, watching me right now, and you are just out of your wits about what it takes to be successful in this on this planet, think opposite of your situation. And that's going to do what? There's going to be some things that you're going to do because of that thought. Look at what I just told you. My mama said, you smart, not just as a drug dealer, but smart, period. Right? But I thought I was dumb. I'm in a dumb situation. I'm a bum. I'm broke. You see? Oh, you smart. That's totally the opposite of my situation. But once I dawned on that thought process, I changed my life the next day, you guys. Literally that quick. And I didn't even know that buying into the situation here was buying into the situation to exasperate itself continuously. But once I stopped it here, it stopped in my life. Okay? Emotional healing can lead to physical healing. Yes, that's what this is all about. Spiritual healing can lead to your physical healing, period. Spiritual healing. Okay? And this spiritual healing that comes in your mind. Okay? We got to heal some of these traumas. We got to heal you from some of these toxins. And we got to heal you from some of these thoughts. And these are the three things that actually are creating the diseases. Toxins. Trauma. Thoughts. You're wanting herbs that'll fix this. Meds that'll fix this. Meds that'll fix this. Herbs that'll fix this. But what about this? What medications and herbs gonna fix thoughts? You got stuff that make you not think, or you got stuff that'll make you think too much, but it ain't gonna tell you what to think about. So then what's gonna fix this? What's gonna fix this part of you? And that's why you're not healed, because you're not getting a holistic approach to the problem. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna step back and let you see this. But that's why we're not being healed, because we only, at best, all you're trying to do is do these two things, toxins and trauma. But what about the thought life? And if you don't fix the thought life, then what happens is the trauma can come back. What happens is the toxins can come back and create the problems. So you'll see some people that got over cancer 20 years ago and got it again. It's because nobody worked on these thoughts. And these folks are in church. These folks is in your synagogue. These folks is in your mosque. These folks is CEOs of your companies and presidents and managers and co-workers sitting right beside you. These are your friends and your families that'll keep going to the same thing, because ain't nobody willing to tell them that, hey, until you start to do this right here with this, you're not doing nothing but robbing me of the opportunity to change this suffering into transformation. You're robbing me of the opportunity due to my situation. Then because of my ignorance, I've created an industry. So you got an industry about toxins, detox. I got an industry, baby. You got an industry behind your trauma. You got an industry behind your thoughts. But at the end of the day, nobody is willing to deal with me like this every day, or when I'm in my time of need. So you having this 2/3 of a particular healing modality that won't work on a whole person. You have this 2/3 of a healing modality that won't work on a whole person. Okay? Not when we're talking about the extension of life in the way that we know it. All right? So we need somebody to work on our toxins, our trauma, and our thoughts. Okay? Anybody else? This teaching is spiritual nutrition. Thank you very much. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now when we're looking at the environment, how many of you guys are dealing with diseases? Let's put some ones in the chat. Now the games begin. Let's get us up to 50K too as well. Get us up to 50K, you guys. We got about another hour to go, so we're gonna try to get us up to 100,000 likes. Okay, please go share the video. Let everybody know your homie HerbMan is on. Coming live from South Africa, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. If you're interested in your owner's manual, please DM me and we'll get you the information that you need. So how many people are dealing with issues, right? So now, if you put your disease on the screen, if you're willing to do that, we can start to look at the size that we're dealing with, okay? Start to look at the size so you can start to see which side am I on, okay? Now, remember that we're going to call this the negative right here, right? I mean, this the positive. So for positive, we're going to put it over here. Big old positive. Over here, we're going to put a big old negative. Okay, y'all can see that. I might need to use my blue pen for the negative. So we got red for positive, blue for negative. Okay, so in other words, this is also going to be the acids. Okay, and this side is also going to be the alkaline. Okay, another word too we're gonna put is this is the heat. Okay, that's the heat. This is, we're gonna put over here that this is the wet. Okay. All right. What else we got? I'm gonna just keep it right there for right now, and we'll add on. Matter of fact, let me put this up here. And so this is facts. Okay, we're gonna say facts. All right, my pen going out on me for intellect. Let me get me another pen. Or this is intellect right here, right? So this is fact based. This is intellect. This side over here is going to be what? Faith based. Intuition. Okay. Let's go. TC Morris said brain inflammation. Automatically brain inflammation. Anytime you got inflamed, that means what? Heat. Too acidic, too much heat, too much intellectual stuff going on, which means you're too mental, which probably causes you to not sleep well. You're overthinking, right? Remember that this is that masculine energy side. So masculine energy side, you guys, is the left side of the brain. Okay, the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body, but the left side of the brain is going to be your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, the left side of the brain controls your parasympathetic nervous system. So this is your ability to rest, relax, and all that type of stuff. Okay, so just understand that. So either we're going to need to help out the parasympathetic nervous system, or we're going to need to help the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so just like that, I can tell you exactly what you need to be doing. Okay, brain inflammation is you are too acidic. Okay, intellectual, your logic, your reason, the left side of the brain. I don't know what that inflammation is at, but you let us know. Okay, you let us know. I'm just telling you what happens to brain inflammation. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. Macular degeneration. Okay, degeneration. Everybody knows that we're either growing, we're either getting healthy and regenerating, or we're stressing and degenerating. Okay, so now you look at the eyesight. Macular degeneration is the degeneration of the eyesight. Now, we told you guys that this is a pituitary gland issue, right? Pituitary gland issue, growth and development. Okay, so now we know that the nervous system is degenerative, which already means that you need to stimulate. Okay, so if you have a degenerative type of context to your particular disease, then that automatically going to mean stimulate. Stimulate is a sympathetic nervous system. Well, guess what the sympathetic nervous system is? The right side of the brain. Who controls that? Feminine energy, intuition controls the right side of the brain. Now, the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. So if you got macular degeneration, it must be more in the left eye. LaDawn Wesley. It should be more in the left eye, right? The right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. So your macular degeneration should be more in the left eye, but you can let us know, and then we'll let you know. Hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism is again a degenerative situation. You're not stimulated, right? So it's an underactive thyroid, which means that there's no stimulation there. Okay, so that means that it needs to be stimulated. So if it needs to be stimulated, it needs to be getting something from your sympathetic nervous system, which is going to mean what? Who controls the sympathetic nervous system? The right side of the brain. Okay, but as for herbs, hypo, all you need to do is get you some bladderwrack. My inflammation is always on the right side, which means that it's a left brain issue, right? So if you're always on the right side, then it's a left brain. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. If you look at what I'm saying, the left brain is the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you're inflamed, you're overly stimulated. Well, your parasympathetic is supposed to come and relax it, but it's not. It's because you're not resting. And you're not getting the proper rest and relaxation, so your parasympathetic is out of balance. It's not coming to your aid. You see what I'm saying? It's not coming to your aid. And then another thing too, I can tell you, is because it's left side of the brain. That's that masculine energy. So that means that you're too acidic. So we can just tell you off of that what's going on with you, and you ain't even gave me a birthday. That's why this is so fire, and that's why you need your owner's manual. I done got beyond trying to sell you some herbs. I done got beyond trying to be a doctor and getting doctors letters of approval. And I done got beyond buying technology. I did all this shit way before these folks did it, man. I invested in all kind of stuff in my herb shop years ago. Years ago, we invested in all these things. This is by far better than all the machinery. It's better than all the books I ever read. So you got to throw all that shit out the window. And on top of that, it's the most natural based thing that you can do, because I know cosmology. That's the environment that's dictating everything. You got to understand the environment, the macro and the microcosm. You got your world, and then you got the universe. You got your cells, the microcosm, and the macrocosm is the environment, the universe. So if we know the universe, we'll know the body. We'll know the cells. I know the universe. I don't come from you knowing man's knowledge about this no more. I don't come trying to know all the books and coming from folks who already done written books. And that if they did them, had they have known, we would have been far better and greater than where we are now. So I got to look at how true this stuff is, because if there's truth in it, then it should already be leaked, and we should already be seeing some reciprocity of this information. I don't say that it's wrong. What I'm saying is some of this is good information, but wrong application. So I don't need you to be up on I don't need you to take hydrogen water when water got hydrogen ions already in it. I don't need you to do nitrogen water, or I don't need you to do alkaline. Just drink real natural water and you got everything you need in it. Let's stop trying to invent and isolate what's in the water that you need, and just drink the water that you need from the natural spring. But you got to move to nature to do this, and this is what we're promoting: nature-based intervention. You need to be closer to water so you don't keep all this plastic in these water bottles going. You need to be closer to the woods so you can finally start learning how to build something yourself. You need to be closer to the sun, because that's going to keep you mental clarity and get all this brain fog out of the way. A lot of you guys that are getting brain fog is because you don't get no sunlight. You wearing weaves and wigs and hats, and you're not getting the proper sunlight to clear your mind. Crystal Gifford, I don't have a book. Okay, the book is on you. So when you get the book, it'll be called the Book of Crystal. Okay, it'll be called the Book of Crystal. I don't got no book to give you, but we're gonna give you the book on you, and it's called the Owner's Manual. Okay, anything that helps bulging disc. There's a lot of things that help bulging disc, but I'm not here to show you about herbs. I'm here to tell you which side of that bulging disc is on. Okay, which side is that bulging disc on? Okay, that's what we're looking at. A bulging disc automatically sends to me is something is grown enlarged, which means that it's created a lot of mucus in it, and it's starting to create stagnation because that's not moving anywhere. So that means that you're over here. Okay, That means you got too much wet going on in the body. You ain't got no heat. See, if you put more water into heat, it'll cool this down. So in actuality, this wet is cold. Okay, so if you wet, then that means that you got too much mucus going into the body and you got too much stagnation going on. And therefore, when it's stagnated, shit'll grow right there in place. So a bulging disc, a tumor, all of this is going to be over here. Okay, it's going to be over here. And if it's over here, okay, that means that it's in the feminine energy, right? So remember that we said the feminine energy is the right brain. So if the feminine energy is the right brain, then that means the issue should be mostly on the left side of your body. Okay, that should be mostly, that bulging disc crystal should be on the left side of your body, if I'm not mistaken. I have an enlarged pituitary. Wow, sorry to hear that. So what we do is we understand that the pituitary is a part of what? The growth and development system, right? Our perspective. So we got to watch our perspective. I got to get you to watch how you're seeing life, because that's what's causing you to get this enlarged pituitary. Also, this is about growth and development. Again, when we're talking about growth and development, we got to go over here to this side, stagnation. Okay, anything that get large over here. So again, if you got an enlarged pituitary gland, you better be careful, because that could affect your left eye, your left eyesight, your left side of your body. Watch out for that. How do we heal the pituitary gland? You have to rest. For the pituitary gland, you got to rest. Okay, for the pituitary gland, you got to rest, and then you got to put together some things that help you keep that particular thing calm, right? So then now, because it's growing, that we need to be more relaxant, not stimulating. So then you got to be looking at things like ashwagandha, things like rhodiola, things like holy basil, things like also maybe you can do some cleavers. Okay, maybe you can do some cleavers, or maybe you do some nettles or something like that that can help out with the enlargement. All right, but we can put something together for you, and we ain't got to go through all this guesswork if you get your honest man. Okay, Misha, yours truly. Eye floaters is not a disease. I was born with sickle cell. You was born too hot. Lion of Judah, too hot, man, too hot. So that's why you always got that hotness and that pain. You burning up. Prostate health linked to bag teeth. I don't know anything about that. I'm not one who follow the trends. Left side is parasympathetic nervous system. Yes. LaDon Weston said, yes, it's my left eye. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I've been doing this so long that I don't need your goddamn birthday for real, for real. I'm doing the birthday for y'all. I'm doing the birthday for y'all, and I'm also doing the birthday to stay out of trouble, so people understand that it's coming from nature. Okay, it's coming from cosmology. All right, but the reality is that I've been around this information for so long, and it's been coming through me. You know, I've been growing with this information. People who've been watching me know I've been growing with this information for so long that it's just come to a point in time where you know, we can be able to do these types of things. I'm new to your channel. How do you get mucus out of your left? How do you get mucus out of your left or get more heat? Crystal Gibbs said, I'm new to your channel. How do I get mucus out of your left or get more heat? So you just polarity, right? It's polarity. So if you wet, what's going to dry up the wetness? More heat. So eating more spicy foods, right? Exercising. Remember, I told y'all. Let me show y'all again. Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. I'm gonna show y'all one more time. Keep tapping. I'll keep talking. I'm gonna show y'all the things that produce heat in the body. Remember that this stuff is producing heat. Okay, it is producing heat, but it's also oxytocins. Let me see if I got it in here. Here, I use this one. Bonding. Bonding produces heat. Sex produces heat. Exercising produces heat. Okay, so I just brought this up here just for you to see a little something, because I can't find the original one. I will be looking for it though, so y'all just stay tuned. Okay, look at this. Exercising, being around people, being attached, bonding, sex, spicy food, all this stuff does what? Produce heat. Let me see if I can find it right here. Okay, look at this. Exercise produce heat. Laughter produce heat. Deep breathing techniques produce heat. Okay, meditation and prayer produces heat. Singing and dancing produces heat. Okay, social bonding, touching, and intimacy produces heat. How do I get the wet out of my left? How do I get more heat? I just showed you there. Hopefully you get it. Okay, hopefully y'all got that. When you DM me, you guys, normally it takes 24 hours to get it. Obviously, we know we're dealing with the world here. Okay, I'm dealing with the world. All right, I'm in South Africa. I'm dealing with Americans. I'm dealing with people in UK. I'm dealing with people in Mexico. I'm dealing with people in Jamaica. We deal with people all across the planet. So it normally takes 24 hours. That's a normal. Okay, so be patient with me, but we'll get it to you. It don't really take more than a couple of days though. Okay. Crystal, you want to? Okay, just DM me, Crystal. We got you. We got you. Ghana, man is 78 from Ghana. That's what's up. What does it mean when a child is born with a cataract in the left eye and blind? If they are born with it, it has something to do with the mother. Okay. And it's the same thing. Wherever that situation happened in the child is what the mother was going through. So if it's a left eye and if blindness happens, then that means that when she was pregnant, there was somebody messing with her and she had delusions of loneliness. So she could have been very lonely in her pregnancy, or she could be very delusional during her pregnancy, and also she could have had a very skewed perspective on life during her pregnancy for some odd reason or whatever the case may be. And because you didn't allow to be, nobody understood this stuff. So person dealing with this traumatic emotion can't changes the chemical construct of her blood, which changes the growth and development of the baby. The pituitary gland controls growth and development of your baby, infertility, your body, everything. So therefore, we know that it was a perspective thing. It was loneliness or delusion that trapped in the mama that then became a chemical imbalance in the mama that then became a nutrient deficiency within the baby, causing the problem. If the baby was born like that, mama cat. Why do children need tubes in there? Why do children need tubes in their ears? What you mean? Why do they need tubes in their ears? Obviously, because they're not doing it, or they're not hearing. I don't understand the question. I'm traveling to Ghana. Okay. If the sun can fix you, then does the moon have any benefits? I didn't say the sun can fix you. I said the sun can fix your mental health. Fire element represents your mental health department. So the sun can help you with mental clarity. Okay. The air element represents your spiritual health department. So breathing, the right posture in breathing can help your life. Spirit equals life. Also consciousness. The mind is different from that mental thing. The sun is different thing than what we're talking about. It's 2 levels of consciousness. Actually, it's 3 levels of consciousness. You got subconscious, you got conscious, and then you got your superconscious. And that's what we're really trying to get people to walk on earth in their super consciousness. And that's when you back into your natural state of being. But you got to create an environment to be in that natural state. You get what I'm saying? So it's work to be done. But the first thing we want to work on is the person. Then we can work on the world. We want to work on the cells. Then we work on the self. So simultaneously, when you start at the bottom, you'll start making bricks to the top. Okay? Simultaneously. So all we got to do is just start at somewhere. And the place we start is with the person, not with the world. A lot of people are trying to gain the world before they get the people. But you must get people. So we're trying to change the world one person at a time. I'm trying to serve 8 billion people, not make $8 billion. And because my outlook is about the community, but we got to know we got to take our time one person at a time, because when you learn how to do this yourself, you're going to be just like me. And then you got more and more and more and more and more social media threads and social media feeds that are really helping people get back into balance and get the right music and get the right singing and get the right dancing and get the right silence that we need and get the right green space and green time that we need in our jobs and get the right foods in our grocery stores and get the right people around us in our lives and through our families and birth the right children. All this type of stuff can happen once we change each other individual by individual. Can I get a screenshot of the spiritual tendency chart? I don't have a spiritual tendency. Are you talking about this right here? Yeah, you can't see that. I'm gonna have to do that show one day, and then I'll blow it up. I erase all of this and then blow this up, and then therefore you guys can get it in. Because right now, I done ran through this. I be teaching this shit day in and day out, y'all. I be teaching this day out and day out. May God continue to bless you. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem, BJ. Anybody else got any other issues? Come on now, while it's time. While it's time, let's go. Because I got to get back into it. Any other issues, we can put you on either side. Okay? Any other issues, we can put you on any side. A lot of you guys are trying to figure this out. So let me show you. The right side of the brain. Okay? This is the feminine. So this would be the right. Right? This would be the left. Okay? So the left side is going to control the right. Okay? Of the body. The right side of the brain controls the left of the body. Okay? So the right side of your brain represents the sympathetic. The left side of your brain represents the parasympathetic. So when I tell you this, then you'll automatically know, do you need to stimulate or do you need to relax? Do you need to do this or do you need to do that? Okay, so we'll do you like that. Excessive mucus and snoring. So we already know. Over here, right? Excessive mucus and snoring, you're going to be over here. So that's the right side of the brain. So you'll probably see your left nostril. Your left nostril is the one that's probably the one giving you the most problems. Okay. And if you're having any mucus, it's going to be mostly on the left side of the body. Well, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? This means that you're having a sympathetic. That means you're overly stimulated here with mucus. That means that you need to get some parasympathetic, some relaxants of your mucous mucosa, which is going to be things like golden seal, things like they call it myolytics, right? Myolytics are things that thin out mucus, things that kind of help you get things out of the body. So my detox, my 21-day detox would probably be the best thing that I can give you for excess mucus in the body because it's dealing with the lymphatic system, okay? But that's what that is, L Precious. All right, been feeling some dizziness and imbalances, then that's going to mean that if you're feeling dizziness, it's your breathing. What does it mean when a child is born with 12 fingers? Why y'all keep asking me what does it mean? It means they're born with a defect. That's all it means. It means that if somebody was born with something, their mama had something. So that's all. Their mama had something. All right. So it's the same thing. If again, perspective, loneliness, and delusion causes growth and development issues. Okay. Perspective, how you perceive the world on yourself. A lot of women, again, being pregnant and they're going through this shit alone, lonely, acting like don't nobody care, ain't nobody there for them. And that can be very delusional at times. And therefore, they can start to create this chemical influx. And you don't know that that perspective is about growth and development. So you can be hurting your fertility. Whether you have the baby or not could be a problem. So when you're looking at cancers, it comes from here too. Perspective, growth and development. Growth and development of a cancer. Growth and development of a defect. If you got no hair, alopecia. If you got all the hair, I don't know what they call that. If you too short, like the little people, or if you too tall, like elegante, pituitary. If you got any kind of defect, it's pituitary. Your perspective, loneliness, and delusion has seeped in and created imbalance in the waters, because that's a water element. The pituitary gland is a water element. Okay. Mutation is too hot. That's in the blood, man, in 78. Okay. Any kind of genetic predispositions and mutations is over here. Okay. So that's the left side, right? So the left side is parasympathetic. You see that? So if the left side is parasympathetic, then that means that we need to do what? You see that? Parasympathetic, acids, heat, all this type of stuff has created the mutation. So you got to do the polar opposite. So if it's too much heat, how do we cool down heat? Add a little wet. What is the wet? More hydrating fruits and vegetables. More hydrating fruits and vegetables. Also, too, you want to be able to balance out the waters. So what is the best way to balance out the waters? The blood and all that type of stuff. Seaweeds. So then you're going to go to your Irish mosses. You're going to go to your chlorellas. You're going to go to all those things that are going to get a lot of that excess toxins and going to clean the environment up in the water. Seaweeds clean the environment up in the water. So you need not only to cool the body down with wetness, more hydrating fruits and vegetables, but then you also need to clean your waters. Okay, man, it's 78. And that's why your owner's manual, those herbs should be helping you clean those waters. If you're talking about you. I don't know if you got your herbs yet, but that's what it'll do. Matter of fact, you probably can't get them because you in Ghana. Night sweats or over excessive sweating, especially when working. Yeah, again, you're overheating. Overheating, so that means that you're too acidic with your diet. Yep, you're too acidic with your diet. Y'all got to get this stuff right. Oh, yeah, man from the UK. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, man from the UK. So, yeah, just get your herbs, bro. And you'll start to see that shit gonna be working on the blood, on all them little fluids part. That's why most of your owner's manual herbs is going to be Irish moss based. Matter of fact, all of the herbal blends got Irish moss in them because we know the importance of cleaning the waters. Okay, so there ain't nowhere around that. You're gonna get Irish moss, bladderwrack in each thing, and then we give you some of those other things. We put those seaweeds in there by choice, by force, because we have to, because a lot of those seaweeds have a lot of the the nutrients that are missing in your diet, but they also have that clean sweeping effect, cleaning these waters, balancing out the waters. Remember, we're trying to calm the boat down in the storm, right? And when you calming the boat down in the storm, you got to be able to clean them waters out, right? All right, anybody else? Okay, so now you must understand that this is environment and this is how we can dictate. Y'all didn't hear me. Y'all didn't hear not one person say I was wrong on here, and I ain't even did the birthday thing. I didn't even do the owner's manual, you guys. Okay, I didn't even do the owner's manual, you guys. So you never met some. How in the hell can he tell you that? We're not even doing medical astrology. I didn't take your birthday. I didn't ask you for your time and location. I ain't got no tarot cards. I didn't tell you to give me some significant, put a, you know what y'all be doing on TikTok now. I'm getting on y'all Africans too. I ain't tell you to put no salt and put it up under there and put no name in no cup and then put it up on the counter for a love spell. And I ain't tell you to put no lemon and lime and cinnamon in your pocket for no money. We ain't got to do that no more. That's for folks who don't know better. That's for y'all who don't know no better. That you would try to requite, you would try to ask somebody else. Don't you know them folks don't know shit either? So ask nature. Don't be trying to bypass us, which is why I don't do this type of stuff the way that I used to. I go to nature and let it be nature based. I try to stay out of what nature is willing to try to do with you, which is rekindle the relationship. How can I buy LaDon? All you got to do is DM me. Okay. You DM me, we'll get you the things that you need. So that's all I'm trying to get you to see, is that this handful of knowledge is everything about you. Okay. And I can easily tell you how to rectify your situation. All you got to do is tell me what it is. And that's why educating you on how you work is better. There's so much more stuff I could have told y'all about yourself. But yeah, I'm going to need that birthday to do that. But your disease tells me a lot. Have you ever known somebody that knows you based on your disease? Is it anybody here that knows somebody that can tell you something based on your disease? Yeah, they used to be able to do that, especially in the Chinese medicine, right? You tell them about your life, they'll tell you, or you tell them your disease, they'll know your love life bad. They'll tell you this, that, and the third. They can know. This ain't nothing new. It's just that y'all ain't never seen a brother like me bring this information. That's all. I'm new, but the information ain't. Okay? I am new to this, but the information is not. I'm new to y'all. I ain't new to this, but I'm new to y'all. Okay? Anybody else got anything else? I want to try to help you while I can. Keep tapping the screen, you guys, and I'll keep talking. I want to try to help all 100 or so of you guys. If you guys got issues, let's go ahead and see where you need and what you need now. I'm going to give you a little bit more time. I've been looking for a master teacher. I ain't no master. I'm a master student. Okay? What you're witnessing is the master student. I'm not the master teacher. I'm the master student. I'm a person who is studious and always learning. And I be walking past people every day of my life wanting something. Oh, I want to do this. And I want to go there. And oh, you over there, I want to go to Africa. And oh, you know what? I want to do this for. And I had this to do. And all I keep hearing is your dream. But while you walking and procrastinating, I done tapped into another energy that allowed me to float on by. Okay? Float on by. So what you're seeing is a master student. And so what I'm trying to do is get y'all to copy off my test. Because the master teacher ain't no person. The master teacher ain't no person. But I'm a master student. Okay? What helps acne? Your emotions, little lady. Your emotions is going to help your acne. I can give you anything in the world for acne, girl. If you keep on getting emotional, acting up over there, all emotional, acne gonna keep on coming back. I don't give a damn how much makeup you put on your skin, how much witch hazel you put on there, how much of this and much that. If you can't get your emotions in balance, a little later you're gonna always be dealing with acne, baby. So you gotta understand that ain't nobody trying to sell you nothing. I'm trying to tell you, get your emotions intact, you get acne intact. Anybody else? Y'all, I told y'all want something for sale. Ain't nobody got that. Somebody said, put the master student on. Yeah, the master teacher is God. The master teacher is nature. The master teacher is life. Okay, but I'm a master student of it. That's why I'm able to teach you this way. And you think I'm a master teacher. I'm the master student. I'm learning every day, in and day out, about me, about us, about this whole paradigm and how we can be, how it all works together, even in our blindness, right? And then it's almost like you the first one to wake up out of the dream. Everybody is walking over the edge. Everybody don't know that there's a cliff there. So I was in the middle. I'm in the back of the line, or wherever I'm at. I was able to wake up out of the dream and see that everybody's walking off the cliff. I'm trying to wake y'all up, but zombieism is hard to wake your ass up. You're just like Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed a whole bunch more if they had known they were slaves. So you got to understand that now it's so ordinary to be a zombie. It's so ordinary to be robotic. It's so ordinary to be routine that any kind of little change in your life, you call that the bad thing. I remember they used to talk that about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King got held risking his life trying to do something good. But you had some folk that didn't like Dr. Martin Luther King because they said, you the one brought all this bullshit over here. If you'd have kept your ass in Atlanta and not came over here, we wouldn't have had these white folks all over here in our land. So sometimes your good could be perceived as the wrong thing to do. Okay? But you still got to do what you got to do. And let the chips fall how they may. Some people may perceive this as a hula hoop bang bang. But again, can your pastor tell you what I just told you? Can you go to your pastor and tell him that you got to enlarge this and they're going to say, oh, yeah, it's on your left side and you need to do some relaxation and this, that, and the third. If your pastor can't do it, he need to, because that's me. That's the spirit. That's what we're trying to get you to see. How you going to be good at your craft, pastor, when I'm better than you? I could preach the word of God and be able to give remedy to my people. Food, herbs, and how to pray. So I'm the master preacher. When it comes to craft and skill set, I am the master preacher. But I'm still just a master student. But we're talking about delivering something. When you're talking about preaching and when you're talking about this thing, you're talking about the delivery of the message. I've been able to get the delivery down pat. Understanding that I'm talking to myself even if the skin color is different. Understanding that I'm talking to myself even if the bank account looks different. Understanding that I'm talking to myself even if the functionality of the individual is different. And when you're talking to yourself, there's a way you talk to yourself, and that delivery has not been perfected in the church as well as it needs to. Don't talk at me, talk to me like you're talking to yourself, because we know you're doing some shit too. And I'll be the first one to raise my hand. That's why I say I'm the master student. There is no master teacher but nature, but God. Okay? So now you understand that this is the stuff that the teacher is teaching. It ain't in a book. It's in the clouds. It's in the sun. It's in the environment. So the one who can see environment can see the person's life, not the one who can see the book. Because those are 60-something books of somebody else's inspiration. The person standing in front of you is one book of inspiration right there that you got to be able to read right there, brother. You can't read the book to a book. You got to be able to read that book in front of you. And that's what preachers are doing. They're reading the book to a book. Ain't no reciprocity in your despair. You can't get nothing popping in your prayer life because you didn't learn how to pray right. You can't get nothing popping in your prayer life because you have not learned yet the real stuff going on. Okay? Stage 3 kidney disease. Thank you for asking that. Stage 3 kidney disease, again, is about over here. Okay? Too acidic and too much heat can cause for the organs to start to be overwhelmed. So you know that your pH balance is going to be what? Controlled by the kidneys. pH balance, the acids to alkaline, pH balance. Automatically, if you got kidney issues, you're too acidic, you're bringing in too much heat in your body. And then on top of that, look, this is the left side of the body, right? So the left side of the body operates the right side. So you'll start having more pain in the right, in your right lower back than your left. If you're having more pain on the right part of it, then this will automatically tell you what you need to do. Okay? All you got to do for that is go on a detox. Detox real quick with nothing but fruits and vegetables only, and go on my website and get that 21-day detox. Let's get you back to alkalinity. Okay? Keeping you away from everything from 21 days. Nothing but fruits and vegetables, and taking that detox to help those kidneys eliminate that excess mucus is what you need to get you back up. Normally, when people do those types of kidney cleanses or those types of detoxes, we can knock you up about 5 to 10 points. Okay. But every time you go in there, your kidney is going to be different. You know, everything you do can cause that differentiation. So yes, they can get better, but we must leave them alone. You're drinking too much fluids. You're doing too much. Chill out, relax. That's what this is. Overly stimulated. Drink milk more than water. I don't know what you're talking about, brother, but if you want to drink milk, hopefully it's your mama's milk and you're not drinking no other kind of species milk. Yeah. If it's your mama's milk, then drink it more than water. Enlarged prostate for my dad. Same thing, you guys. We have these particular herbs out here, man, before enlarged prostate, again, over here. Okay. So that's too much wet in the body. He needs to put more heat in the body. Dad needs to exercise more, laugh more. Daddies need more intimacy. Okay. A lot of brothers out there dealing with prostate issues and enlargement, you need to release. Y'all see what I did just then, right? If you're not having a high quality sex life and you're still trying to be here, you're still producing that. Just because you ain't got an old lady, or just because, you know, whatever going on, you still producing, which means that you still got to release. Releasing every now and then will allow a lot of that dead sperm to be released so that you don't cause these blockages. That stuff can harden up in them. Okay. And you also got to leave a lot of this feminine products alone. So chicken is the female version of the rooster. Beef, the cow, is the female version of the bull. So if you ain't eating bull, then you eating cow. If you ain't eating rooster, then you eating chicken, and hen is a girl, and all this stuff. So it's a lot of that food. What about salmon? Most of the fish is female, so that they can keep reproducing, right? So you want to get out of the trend of what they got. Go to your farmers market and go get some exotic fish. Go back to bass and brim with the bones in them. Stop getting filleted catfish and all this stuff. They female catfish females, salmon female, right? So start moving away from those. Go back to the country. Go back to the bass and the brim with the bones in it. Ain't nobody messing with them because don't nobody eat them. You ain't seeing them in the grocery store, so they ain't being mass produced. Somebody went and fished these out the lake, and then you can just go get him $5-10 every week. They go get you some fish because they fished them out of the lake. Go back to eating from nature, not the grocery store. Mama's pre-diabetic, but mama ain't Mama may be pre-diabetic, but she got self-control issues. And if she don't handle them, she's going to be a diabetic. Dementia is going to have to get the owner's manual, and we got to show her how to be able to focus and concentrate again. Okay? Focus and concentrating is what we got to do to be able to heal. Once you get dementia, then you're in an altered reality. It's very hard to get you to do this to heal yourself. Okay? Dementia, the first question I'm going to ask is, did she ever have high cholesterol? If she ever had high cholesterol and took something for it, that's the problem. Now, you can't stop dementia if she's still taking statins. Okay? Statins will stop you from having a heart attack, but it'll cause you to have a brain stroke. Thank you for the herbs. Did you give consultation with the manual? Yes. Yes, you can call me between the times of 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right after I get off my lives. Okay? Who else? Mama has kidney disease. She is on dialysis. Yeah, I mean, she waited too long, right? And so the thing about dialysis, GG, my first question is going to be, is she peeing at all? Okay? If she's peeing at all. If she's not peeing at all, then dialysis and medications have basically have drawn all the energy out, you know? And so the thing is that what we need to do is try to see if we can get those kidneys to working. But you can't keep going to dialysis every day thinking that kidneys are going to work. You got to be able to leave these things alone. A lot of people get on dialysis and they still be doing bullshit. Okay? We got to stop all of that. The first thing you got to do when you're on dialysis is control either your blood sugar or your blood pressure. We ain't even going toward the kidneys yet. We ain't even gonna mess with the kidneys yet. We're gonna keep on dialysis, and we're gonna try to balance the blood sugar and balance the blood pressure, whichever one the problem or both. So we're gonna be giving you herbs for those two first. Once we're able to balance these two out first of all, then we'll already know that if we're able to balance these out, the kidneys got a little working. They may not be able to urinate, but they still in there doing a little something because we balance this out. Once you're able to balance that out, then we don't have to take the medications for those things that are keep on messing with your kidneys. So we got to eliminate the inorganics. So we got to replace them with stuff. I can't try to clean your mama kidneys while she's still taking blood pressure and blood sugar medication. That shit ain't gonna happen. Matter of fact, they're gonna go down faster. You cannot try to cleanse kidneys while people are still on medications. And any herbalists out there that are prescribing to you herbs that clean your kidneys while you're taking blood pressure medications and metformin and all these meds, they fucking you up in the long run. They making your shit go down. But you cannot cleanse while that kidney is still trying to balance inorganic stuff in the body. That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Balance you out first. So we helping the kidneys balance out your blood pressure. We're gonna help the kidneys balance out your blood sugar. Then when the kidneys are able to help that, then we're able to do you. Do you offer classes? No, because the only thing I'm really teaching you, is about yourself. So there is no need for classes because your owner's manual will only work for you. It won't work for your cousin, your son, your daughter, your mama, your spouse. The owner's manual will only work for you. And that's meant to be like that because that's the only one you need to work on. Ain't no need you go and try to fuck with nobody else, pimp. Ain't no need nobody stop trying to teach somebody else until we get refined. Because what are you teaching? What are we teaching until we get it? Okay? Can't teach rich until you get rich. You can't teach health until you get healthy. You can't tell nobody about me because they looking at it like if you watching HerbMan, mama, and you still got high blood pressure and diabetes, obviously HerbMan ain't doing nothing, or you either not doing nothing. So fuck HerbMan because he ain't changing your life like you trying to get him to change mine. You got to be the model for this stuff. So that's why we understand what God is doing here. These folk don't need nothing to try to help nobody else. They need something to help themselves. Know thyself first. So the owner's manual is the key to that, okay? If you guys are interested in that, please DM me. We'll get you the information that you need. We're almost there, you guys. You keep tapping out, keep talking. We're almost there. If you keep tapping out, we'll keep talking. Any other questions thus far? Any diseases? Okay? Because I'm finna erase this if y'all through. Oh, you paying one? How to get rid of high cortisol levels? I have a large tummy. Thank you for asking, Miss Netta Shop. So the biggest thing about cortisol is down here, you guys. Let me put this here so y'all can see it. Where's my other pen at? Right here. Let me put this down here. So down here is cortisol. Up here is melatonin, right? But you know what the biggest thing in our bodies that balances out our cortisol? Anybody know? What's the biggest neurotransmitter, which is the hint? What's the biggest neurotransmitter, the biggest endorphin that we have that balances out our cortisol? So we know that cortisol means awake. Melatonin means asleep. So off the rip, we know that you are awake way more than you are asleep. Off the rip, because you're cortisol, we know that you're over here in positive land, masculine energy, too much heat, too much acids, etc., etc. Because we know what this means. Down here is over here, up here is over here. So it don't matter which one of these you tell me or how you tell me, I can be able to categorize your ass. You understand what I'm saying? But the biggest thing to doing this is, there we go. Somebody just said it. Highlight TC Morris for me. Highlight TC Morris for me right there. TC Morris, you get the highlight of the day. Y'all go follow TC Morris. To balance out your cortisol is oxytocin. Okay? Now, again, what promotes oxytocin? Get a little love in your heart. Yes, sir. What promotes oxytocin? Exercise, laughter, singing, dancing, spicy food, meditation, deep breathing techniques, and also a little foreplay, a little touch therapy, a little intimacy, a little social bonding. These things will help get your cortisol levels down. That's what goes on in you. Now, if you want something outside of you, obviously we can help you with that. But if you're just looking to be able to produce this stuff inside, young lady, all you got to do is follow these directions, and that will balance out your cortisol. Change your life. You change your mind, you change your life. Period. All right? Period. Anybody else? Vertigo causes from the C1 to C2. All right, so if you got C1 to C2 issues, then basically you have a vagus nerve issue. Okay, if you have vertigo issues from C1 to C2, right? Quantum Nikki. That means that you have been in an accident or something that happened, a car accident or something, but it's your vagus nerve, sweetie. From C1 to C3. C1 and C2, your neck is on a swivel. Okay, so that's a ligament right there. That ain't even a bone. Okay, so the first one, that C1, that's a ligament. That ligament ain't that long. That ligament is a very short ligament to get you to bend down and look up and look around and that right there. But a lot of times when we get whiplash, or a lot of times when we're looking down for most of our life at the computer screen or at the work, or when you're looking at the cell phone, all this type of stuff, you're stretching that ligament. Okay, well, right along the sides of the neck, coming from your brain, right along the sides of that C1 and C2 is nerves called the vagus nerves. Okay, you got one on one side, the one on the other. This is the monitoring system for your whole body, pretty much. It's the monitor. It's called the vagus nerve. It's the vagabond. It lays on damn near everything and takes monitor to get back to the brain. Okay, so a lot of times when people are having problems and you're talking about a C1, C2, then it's going to be primarily your vagus nerve. So you just go on Google and you start looking at vagal tone exercises and things like that that can send signals through the body to calm down and do all those types of things. If you need more information on that, then all you got to do is let us know and we'll be able to help you out via your honest man. Okay, via your honest man. Hypothyroidism, Mama Jojo, is going to be about what? That's dysfunction, right? So we're already telling you that you need to get more energy, you need to get more sympathetic stimulation. So bladder will help you with your hypothyroidism. But at the end of the day, this doubt and this trust that's going on, Mama Jojo, that doubt and trust, that's the big key. Blood disorders is you're too acidic, pareidolia, too acidic. Okay, when you got blood disorders, you're too acidic and the body is too hot. So you want to cool it down. Okay, and then if you need herbs for that, get your owner's manual so we can help you. Fibromyalgia, the same thing. It's an autoimmunity issue that's causing too much what? For fibromyalgia, you're dealing with a bunch of body pain, bunch of body inflammation. So then the heat goes up in the body. So that means that you need more wetness. You need more hydrating fruits and vegetables. You need more relaxing herbs. Okay, to calm down the nervous system, calm down the immune system. Okay, fibromyalgia. All right, fibroids, endometriosis, all of that type of stuff. That means you got some guilt and unforgiveness. There's some trauma going on in your sex life, trauma going on in your life from a relationship standpoint, Nikita. We got to get this trauma out of there. And just because you can go in and take anything you want to, fibroids will come back like cancer. If y'all didn't know that, fibroids will grow back like cancer. So go on down there and waste your money if you want to. Get your emotions right, they'll never come back. Get your love life right and the way that you see and perceive relationships. If you're feeling guilty about something, if you can't forgive somebody for something, that's being trapped there, and it's going to keep you going in that spiral of having these kind of issues. If you want to get rid of it altogether, then you get your owner's manual. We'll show you how to do that. But at the end of the day, that's wet. Okay, because that's mucus that's growing. You need heat down there. So you need to heat this area back up with a castor oil pack, ginger paste, and then a heating pad. You need a castor oil pack, a heating pad, and some ginger paste. And then you need to change your emotional life and get this trauma out of there so that it won't come back again. All right? Anybody else? How to deal with high cholesterol? Cholesterol is going to be a lifestyle problem, El Mighty. Okay? Cholesterol is a lifestyle problem. You are the one that's causing this cholesterol problem, okay? Nothing else, all right? So what you need to do is relax on what's doing that, and this is how I teach cholesterol, all right? This is how I teach cholesterol. Real quick, you guys, and I'm about to get up out of here. Keep tapping, and I'll keep talking. This is how I look at cholesterol, okay? You got the LDL, the low-density lipid, and then you got the HDL, the high-density lipid. LDL, low-density lipid, meaning that it ain't that thick. It ain't that dense. It's a low density to it. So it's a very kind of thin lipid, a thin fat. So when you got thin fat, then you're going to use thin fat to patch up the highway. Okay? To patch the highway. So when you patching the highway, we call you the road repair crew. Okay? The road repair crew, because they patch the highway up. Then you got HDL. This is a high density lipid. That means you got high density. You a thick fat. So this thick fat is the street sweeper. Okay? The street sweeper. Okay? Now the problem is both of these are good for you. Okay? Patching the holes up in your blood vessels when you smoking and when you got these chemicals in your body and all that, that's a good thing. Street sweeping and getting all this debris and all this calcification out of your blood vessel, that's a good thing. These things are good, but here's the problem: is when you calling on. So now these folks good as long as you ain't got no traffic on the highway. So now a lot of you guys during your busy times is doing toxic shit like smoking, drinking, eating bad, all this stuff. So now that's traffic in the life. That's a lot of stuff going on in the blood, and you done called out the road repair crew. Now you and I both know that if the road repair crew, if the road repair crew and the street sweeper is out on the highway during rush hour, we're gonna be here for some day. Who called them? You did. It's your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is calling the road with Pratt Crew out way more than what you need to. Get these people out of the goddamn road during traffic hour. That means that when you are up and going, you don't need to be doing all this other stuff. A toxic lifestyle is conducive to high cholesterol. And people don't understand that. Okay? So the thing is that we're calling the road with Pratt Crew out at particular times that don't need to be out there. Okay? But you need these. So you'll see that you only got high cholesterol when the LDL go up. Why? Because now you got too thick. If the LDL go up, that means the density went up. That means that my thin fat got fat. So now I got two street sweepers out here. You're going to clog up your arteries. If you got two street sweepers doing traffic, can't nobody get through. Duh. Learning how to balance these things, okay? Eating a lot of orange foods, feeling much better. I'm glad you guys are getting the reciprocity out of your herbal blends. I'm glad you guys are getting this stuff out of your manuals. The thing about it is, you guys, I don't know shit about y'all. Everything that you got in your owner's manual came from your birthday. All I did was be a vessel to be able to understand how to put it together. But I didn't create that blend. That blend comes out of your birthday. I didn't create the foods. The foods come out of your birthday. I didn't create the physical tendencies. They come out of your birthday. I don't create the spiritual tendencies. All of this stuff has been taught by other people. Ancient Chinese, ancient Ayurvedic, ancient Tibetan, ancient Unani, ancient shamans. This is all information that's been able to be put together into one understanding, and that's the owner's manual. And for a funky measly $50, you're able to get this in the palm of your own hands. And now you can start to take your own health into your own hands in every category: family, wealth, and health. Okay? Family, wealth, and health. Anybody else? I got 4 more minutes to go, you guys. Anybody else? Wenley, you got anything? What you got? You can't read it, so you better learn how to do what you gonna say. He ain't got nothing for today. He got something for today. I'm gonna let him do it. No, he ain't gonna read nothing, but he got something for today. Woosa, hold on. Ain't nobody call you brain tumor. The brain tumors, the neuropathy disease, idiopathic neuropathy, all of that is going to be the same thing, okay? So when you got neuropathy and you got idiopathic neuropathy and all that, then we know that we have a what? A stimulation, right? We know we got a stimulation of those particular herbs, okay? So if you're overly stimulated, then we know over here. So the right side of the brain operates the left side of the body. So you can start having a lot of that neuropathy happening on the left side of that body, then that's automatically going to mean that we need some more relaxants, okay? To relax the neuropathy. So you got to make sure you got those herbs. Those herbs are very easy to get, you guys. Obviously, if you just want herbs, you can go to any of your herbalists. They may know this stuff. If you don't, then you can just get your owner's manual and we'll give you the things that you need, okay? But that is in a nutshell how we do everything. Somebody asked me too about a brain tumor. Same thing, okay? Brain tumors is growth. That's pituitary gland. That's all that type of stuff. That means if it's pituitary, then that means it's going to be too overly sympathetic and it needs to be relaxed, okay? So that means that you got too acidic, too hot, and it needs to be, that means it's wet and everything like that, and it needs to be put some heat into that body. Brain tumor, it needs to be stimulated and put heat into the body. Okay? We need to put that heat into the body, all right? So go ahead, Wiley, just tell them goodbye, and then we're going to go and get up out of here. Just tell them goodbye. So thank you guys for watching. Now you can't read nothing, bro. You gotta learn how to be yourself. You gotta learn how to be yourself on her. We don't do no read. Tell them bye, Woos.
Hi, everybody.
They can't see you. Get back. You sit. Tell them bye. Say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. See y'all, man. We love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please go tell somebody. Go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. And until next time, love HerbMan. Peace. Nah, it's off.